So today we're going to look at installing Visual Studio Community Edition 2022. Essentially, this is Microsoft's flagship development program. It's the free version. However, it contains all the functionality that you'll need to install, to develop, and to deploy any business applications that you may write. So let's go ahead and look at how we need to install this. First thing you need to do is, using Chrome or another browser, go ahead and navigate to visualstudio.microsoft.com/downloads, and on that page you will find the links to download all the various different flavors of Visual Studio. Professional and Enterprise editions are available as a monthly subscription. I believe the Professional at this time, the Professional version is about $45 a month, and the Enterprise version is about $1,500 a month. You will not need those. The Community Edition is free for students, open source contributors, and individuals. So basically it's a free download. Microsoft discovered that if they gave their tools away for free, they could encourage more developers to use them. So let's go ahead and click on the free download. And essentially what's happened is, you'll notice very quickly up here, let me get out of the way. You'll notice here that Visual Studio Setup.exe has been downloaded onto your PC. So go ahead and go to that folder, which should be your downloads folder. And there is the program itself. It's a very small program. Now, the executable to set up the program is very small, but the download that it's about to perform is very large. Multiple gigabytes, so you will need to set aside some time to perform this. If you're doing it at home, number one, you will need a Windows PC that is fairly new, and you will need a robust internet connection because you're about to download a very involved program. So we'll double click on the setup program, and the Visual Studio installer will begin to work. It may need to modify your system in some ways. And what it's doing right now is just installing the installer. So this may take a little bit. And since I already have it installed on my computer, I probably need to close the version that I have open. And apparently I have an update available, so I'm going to go ahead and run it. Basically, yours will not say update available, it will say install, and so you're going to want to click yes, next, or continue until you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and click update. And what you should see is the download operation and the install operation. And this will continue until the process is complete. Like I said, this is an involved program. It's fairly large, and so you will need to have a fairly robust internet for this to work. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording here and start it back up when it's done. Okay, as you can see, it took a while, and we're still going. The process, the install process is over, but now it's going back through and optimizing and cleaning up, and so it should be finishing up just any minute now. Okay, so at this point you should have Visual Studio successfully installed. They recommend rebooting, and that might be a thing. That's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and close the installer. So once you're done, you should be able to close this out. And then in my start menu, I'm going to go ahead and search for Visual Studio 2022, and I'm going to click on that. And it should open up. And we'll go kind of into the process to see what it's like to set up a program. The first programs that we're going to write are going to be console-based. So we'll set up a console-based program just to see how things work. Like I said, you will need a fairly robust computer and a very robust internet connection in order to use this program. It's an involved program, to say the least. And when it pops up, this is what we get. This is some of the things that I've programmed recently. What we're going to do is create a new project. And the template that we're going to use is a C#. We're going to create a console app for this first one in C#. And we're going to basically just look for the template that tells us C# console. We're going to ignore most of these because a lot of these are games. All right, so here's the one we want. C# console app. And this is just going to be a simple console text-based interface that we're going to work on. So let's go ahead and select that and click Next. We're going to give it a name, and we're going to call it Hello World. And we're going to leave this at default. Solution will leave at default. We're going to leave this check mark in place. Click Next. And we're going to select the Net 8.0. That is the most recent supported .NET version. We're going to leave these unchecked, and we're going to click Create. And Visual Studio should go to work and build. In this case, it's probably going to build the entire program for us because Hello World is the way that it starts out all C#. It gives you a template to start with. So Visual Studio is creating the project. And once it does, it will pop. And of course it popped over here. Alright, so Visual Studio has created our project, and it also has created some code for us. This is basically template code. And so we can run this code, and it will do exactly what we expect. If you'll notice, we have here, and I'm not going to go through the code other than to tell you console.writeLine is a method that writes to the console, and hello world is the string of text that we're going to write. So if I click the run button in the debug, doesn't matter, it can be debug mode or release mode, but we're going to leave it in debug mode for the time. And we're going to click the run button here. Then what we should see is a console, and basically you'll notice that our text was printed up here. So we have successfully installed Visual Studio, and it is working correctly. And that is what the purpose of a Hello World application is. For those of you that don't know, Hello World is a traditional application that a programmer would write to verify that he has the correct runtime libraries and that he has his IDE set up correctly. And so we have done exactly that. Our IDE is working. We intended to create a console-based application that prints Hello World, and that's what we've accomplished. So we can go ahead. It says press any key to close this window. And now we return from debug mode. Our program development window is open and ready for us to continue to code. Okay, so that is the beginnings of coding in Visual Studio. Essentially what we've done is we've installed Visual Studio, and then we have verified that we got it correctly by running the Hello World program in the console. So we created a console app, and we really didn't have to code anything because Visual Studio does that for us. It creates a Hello World as a template, and so we're ready now to begin coding, and so let's go ahead and get started. If you have any questions, if things didn't work out, you can contact me through the Canvas inbox, or you can catch me after class, and I will help in any way that I can. So have a good day, and I'll see you around campus.